You're listening to
Hot Sauce Sports with Mo Cohen, Peeze and Terry Tam.
I now know that I'm on with a spy, depending on who's the captain of this ship. And that's probably a bad thing if this podcast is supposed to go viral, isn't it?
Cordero Patterson like grabbing some shanks, gentlemen here, and he quote, and I quote, "I'm a grown man. I don't need nobody blank in my balls, my face."
In my teenage years, I'd get back from high school, I'd smash 2 pizza pockets. Carmelo Anthony never learned you can't live life just smashing pizza pockets.
Because he lost a double bet, what I did is I cut a jalapeno in half, and I filled it with hot sauce. So he's going to have to slurp this down.
Why you give me a fucking banana, dude? I'm not eating a banana. I'll rather piss in my mouth than eat this.
Okay, so there we go. Stop stalling. Let's go.
Now, here are your hosts, Mo, Terry, and Peeze.
Welcome, everyone. You're listening to and perhaps watching Hot Sauce Sports. I'm your host, Peeze Delariz. I have returned to save you all of the tyranny that is Terry Tam, my co-host.
The tyranny, yeah.
And my contextualist producer, Eagle at Master Control. Eagle provides no context, nothing interesting. All he did was, Terry said this, I'm going to jerk it a little bit. And of course, our other producer.
We had a great fucking time.
Still hungover.
The Duke. He's our graphicist.
The Duke.
Our producer.
The graphist.
He's so hot right now.
But me and Eagle had a great time last week.
To be honest, it was a great show.
It was very good.
You liked it?
I actually really enjoyed it. I laughed my balls off. I was I woke up. It was like 6 a.m. I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
Because hangover. One of the many. I woke up and I grabbed a beer, as you do at 6 a.m.
When you have a hangover.
When you have a hangover. And
from beer.
Started listening to the show and I'm laughing. I try to keep it down because the rest of the house was all quiet.
What did I say?
And just the entire show was dying of laughter.
Thanks, man.
Part of the things that made me laugh was the lack of facts.
Oh, there's not.
It's awesome.
I'm not.
So I
I'm
realized
not a factual kind of guy.
I've realized what my strength on the team is.
Yeah.
Is Terry puts a thing on the script.
Yep.
Peeze says, "That's awesome. Let's make fun of that. Wait, let's make sure it's true first."
Sure. So what was I wrong about?
I have a list. The first thing I noticed being wrong is Eagle being wrong.
Oh.
So I want to start the show with fuck you, Eagle. Eagle, fuck you. So the first thing was Kyler Murray's size. First of all,
5'10" and 3/4.
First of all, you don't know how long it is. You haven't seen him naked.
I mean, I would.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is ask.
Facts. The thing is, as for quarterbacks getting killed, it's cool that you still see things the same way these decrepit 90-year-old general managers and owners see
Does
it.
this look like I'm bald here?
No, you're good. You're good,
you
bro.
got
You're
beautiful
looking
hair.
great. You're looking great.
From this angle, it looks like I'm bald.
No, it's the orange in the background. It's reflecting.
It's my biggest fear. One of 3 fears.
Balding?
One of my 3 biggest fears. Balding.
Well, I'll get back to you in a second, Eagle.
Yeah.
Balding?
Balding. Tearing my ACL.
Yeah.
No, Achilles is worse.
And tearing my Achilles.
Oh,
is
yeah,
the other one,
Achilles is way worse.
Yeah.
Which order is that in?
Bald for sure, because I make fun of everybody. That's
And
bald.
also, the best thing about being bald is that you just don't look at yourself and you just won't
My brother
notice.
is full bald, but he's got a sick ass beard, but he shaves it. Smart man.
Yeah,
I don't know how he's bald.
losing my hair
Look at this thing.
is my number one thing too.
Yeah, for sure.
Tearing my ACL, tearing my Achilles is number 2.
It's gonna
and
happen though. I know.
Divorce, not because being divorced, like not getting divorced, whatever, but people that are divorced, they get together.
Yeah.
Like when you're in that
So
situation.
becoming a divorcee is what you're scared of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
okay.
you're in a
stench.
conversation with
Yeah,
5.
the
Like you're
smell.
one of 5 people. 4 of them are divorced. You're the only one who hasn't gone through that experience.
Yeah.
All they do is talk about lawyers, expenses, children, and all this.
They're trying to
scary-ass
scare you
shit.
into not getting divorced.
No, but they're not even talking to me. I'm not even there. I'm just there sipping on cherry cola, and they're just bitching about all the things that come with divorce.
I would never divorce Eagle, no matter how wrong he was.
Yeah, you should though.
So what was he wrong about?
You should. Well, Kyler Murray. So his whole thing was he's too small. He's going to die in the NFL.
Yes.
The quarterbacks have never been more protected. You can't land on them.
That doesn't mean that what he said isn't true.
He's also not that small.
He's 5'10" and 3/4.
Exactly, which
Yeah.
is the height of Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I'm not saying.
And I'm convinced Drew Brees. By the way, they just had to lie back then.
No, Drew Brees is like 5'9". Yeah, that's smaller. Yeah.
So there's no evidence other than Pat White, who was frail, not small, that you die by playing at the size in the NFL.
I don't know if I said it last week, but with Kyler Murray, it's more of quarterbacks in big schools that dominate don't do well in college in the NFL for some reason. It's very rare. Like when I look at it, like if you look at like Wentz D2 school, Drew Brees went to Purdue, Aaron Rodgers went to some buttfuck school.
Okay, but Andrew Luck went to USC.
Andrew Luck, yeah, I'm sorry, obviously
Stanford, sorry.
No,
Yeah, Stanford.
sorry.
Cam Newton
That's
went
not
to
a
Auburn.
buttfuck school.
Cam Newton went to Auburn.
Stanford's not a buttfuck school.
That's what we're saying.
Never said
though.
that. No,
I'm saying
You're
your
on
point.
my side.
I'm
That's what
naming you
matters.
the buttfuck schools, but I am aware that there are people. Obviously,
The only thing
good
is,
enough.
I will say there's been a bizarre lack of SEC quarterbacks that see success. But that's because
Okay,
you
maybe
don't need
that's
a
what it
quarterback in the SEC.
You just need a
Until
sick
now, they
running
have
game.
Tua, and it's over. There's Tua and Fromm, and there's 2 teams in the SEC now. But
It's true though.
Antonio Brown is the first thing you're wrong on because of all the things you said.
What did I
because he
say?
signed with the Raiders.
What did I say?
That John Gruden wouldn't want him.
Oh,
He's not going to sign with the Raiders. John Gruden can't control him. Also,
Well, for what they got, of
there's
course.
not a reason to need to control people. They're not your servant. They work with you.
No, but when
he's
you're
not even their boss.
But
He's
when-
like a
mentor of sorts,
a manager.
supervisor.
Yeah,
He's a
supervisor. Exactly.
But
Who
that's
makes
what I'm
less? Who makes less than the employee?
No, my yeah, exactly. My whole thing with John Gruden that he doesn't like that the
He also-
attention grabbing guy,
He coached Keyshawn Johnson in Tampa.
but he calmed Keyshawn Johnson down. So
I also don't think Antonio Brown has been.
remember Keyshawn in New York?
Yes.
Very
he was a
different Keyshawn.
disaster.
But Antonio Brown,
Absolute disaster.
but Antonio Brown hasn't been a problem case until now. This specific issue
'Cause of
where he
money.
felt
No.
he felt he needed to get out because he will not get his money at 33.
No, it's not that. It's not that it just came up now. It's just that we've only given a shit about it now because he made a lot of news. Where before he was able to complain and do anything he wanted on the sideline because they were winning. It wasn't the end of the world, and he didn't call out the organization. I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm
You're right.
just
He has a bad attitude. It's not like there's a rapist on their sideline.
I just got to say, I just want to say one thing about this whole thing is that the Raiders have not had a
Eagle, get that.
they have not had a
LeBron,
receiver of this caliber in a long time, and I'm not ready to crap all over.
well, you
it.
drafted one, and he just didn't pan out.
That's totally it.
Eagle,
Oh,
get
we're
that
talking-
LeBron
which one,
dunk
though?
clip
RB?
ready.
No, Cooper.
Yeah. It's in the chat. I forgot to put it on the script because I need that. We'll get to that when I get to LeBron because I need that playing over and over and over while I talk about LeBron. Khalil Mack, fact check. Khalil Mack, you said that they didn't want to pay Khalil Mack. They did. The deal fell through in escrow because the Oakland Raiders are so poor as shit they could not guarantee the money to pay Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Because when you offer,
No, I'm only going with what John Gruden said.
no, I understand,
Yeah.
but he lied because what actually happened is the organization. Because when you pay someone $30 million guaranteed, for example, you need to guarantee part of that in the bank. You need to have that money.
Yeah, they're
So
having problems.
This is
with
never an
creditors.
issue because the owners in the NFL are all insanely rich,
Except for the Raiders.
except for Mark Davis.
It's true.
because he can't afford a haircut.
But it's also not his
doesn't make
fault. I
sense,
mean, they're
But
brokenness.
it is his fault, and I'll say why.
Because he owned the team.
Because the reason he can't afford it is because he guaranteed John Gruden $200 million.
No, it's not just that. They've had issues with money ever since they moved back to Oakland. It's never they have a terrible stadium deal.
He's
They
also
make
the poorest
money
owner.
over there, of course, and it's partly to do to his father's fault as well, not just
Yeah.
him. So the fault on him, I get it, but the one thing that I can see is that there were reports at one point that he has issues with creditors. With getting money.
Who, Mark Davis?
Yes, because there's a lot of money
I mean,
tied
so
up into
do I.
Vegas. There's a lot of money tied into Vegas. But this is a good deal with Antonio
But they're
Brown.
playing back in Oakland this year, no?
They are this year, but what I'm saying is that there's a lot of money tied up to that, and there's a lot of money tied up to Gruden. And also, to be honest with you, I also feel like they're probably going to be drafting a defensive end this year, and it might be just an excuse. They're like, we don't want to pay him this much because we want
There's
to
a lot of
focus on other
defensive
things.
linemen now.
Yeah.
I wasn't wrong about that.
No,
No.
you were not. You DK Metcalf.
What about him?
You were very high on DK Metcalf.
Love him.
And here's something where you're going to be wrong. I'm predicting the future. I never do
okay.
this.
Okay.
I'm predicting the future.
He's going to be
I
a
think
bust?
I think he's very good.
Yeah.
I think his career span may be short.
Oh, yeah, I
The
agree.
reason why
I agree.
is his frame is
He
impressive.
reminds me
his
of Des
speed's impressive.
Bryant.
Exactly. And the thing is that the
With better footwork.
no, because the 3-cone drill, he had a worse time than Tom Brady.
Get the fuck out of
Oh
here.
yes, dude, can you look that up? 'Cause
I'm
Eagles
just going by
listen-
the
got it.
highlights I saw. I just looked at his highlights, and I'm talking about football forward with the ball.
So
So when he
the-
has the ball, he's able to he moves well.
The drill that best predicts longevity in the NFL for receivers has been the 3-cone drill because it has to do with footwork and how well
Routes.
you can separate when you lose your speed and so on.
Yeah.
And so DK Metcalf flopped on that drill. And like I understand everyone freaking out because he's a monster.
Yeah.
Human beings.
He's a red zone. He's a red zone guy.
He's
you're not gonna
from
have
the
to worry about it.
Monstars.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
He's not only a red zone guy. He's faster than Julio Jones.
He's faster than a lot of people.
Yeah.
But he's gonna be maybe not red zone. He's gonna be that 35 to touchdown ratio. I think that's where he's gonna make his money.
So DK Metcalf ran a 7.38.
And what did Tom Brady run?
I want to say it's a
with that.
702, but get that.
Maybe it's a smaller cone.
Eagle, do you have smaller cone? All right, you can continue. Just play it on repeat behind me. LeBron James. Oh my God! So
You
first
love
of
him.
all, last night
7.2. 7.2 is Tom Brady.
7.2
And what did Metcalf get?
7.38.
with no volume, please, because I got to talk.
They can't hear it. Only you can hear it.
But that's all I hear. So is there no volume? Can you confirm?
There you go.
All right. So, look at how much fun LeBron James was having last night on a team that you said that he lost his team.
Done. Finished.
You were talking about
Because
how,
you're basing it on one play.
no, but you also said that he's not moving around on defense because he doesn't care.
That's what it looked like.
I will say he came back from his. So this is the first time we've seen this in the 16 years in his career.
Yes. So that's why I'm calling it out.
Now he's also coming back from a groin injury.
Yes.
Conditioning in basketball is very important.
Absolutely.
Now, if you hurt your shoulder, you can still run. You can still be on a treadmill. You can't condition if you've hurt your groin.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going from sitting on the couch with his wife, drinking some wine.
No, didn't do that.
Watching some Bachelor.
According to his Instagram, he did not do that.
Yeah.
And
LeBron's-
he's not watching Bachelor because I'm all over Bachelor Twitter and I didn't see him once.
Okay, so what do you think he watches?
I think he watches. He's not watching Empire anymore. That's for sure.
Yes. Well,
Nobody should.
I mean, I don't think it's the show's fault.
I mean, if he's still on it, yeah.
He's not, though. Didn't they fire him?
Well, I think they have like 2 more episodes.
Find
or
out if
something.
Jesse Smollett. Yeah, but if they filmed it before, what do you want them to do?
What does he watch? I think he watches
He was fired.
Temptation Island.
Temptation Island?
Temptation Island.
Old episodes of Full House?
Old episodes of Full House. I think he loves to watch a lot of The Office. I'm gonna
Does
give him
he
The Office.
hate masturbate to highlights of Michael Jordan? Hater bait.
Hater bait. He hater baits the Space Jam.
Okay. Until Space Jam 2 comes out, then straight masturbation.
Is it gonna be him?
Well, so far so good. I feel like they're tanking the season on purpose so he can go into production.
So so you were saying is that you don't think that he's given up?
I don't. Not at all. I just think that he knows this is the team, and I think he's physically not able to play at the highest point.
So this is what this is the way I see it, is that I don't think he's given up completely because he's the ultimate competitor. We've all seen it, right?
like he got a triple-double last night.
Yeah,
and like,
no, he's a great-
He's still his
still the best
stats
player
are
of all
on
time.
par with.
He's still the best
what he's
player of
done.
all time.
I agree.
I'm just saying that right now, his effort isn't at 100%. If it's at 80%, 8
But
out
I
of
think
10
a lot of it's
games,
tied into the injury.
maybe. But I feel because he knows the season's done, he's just not putting in the extra effort.
Now this is
Where if the season was still going, he would have been going full pin.
my last fact check.
Sure.
We're going to launch into news right after that.
Sure.
I want-
This is how Peace stays relevant when he's not on the show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The Bachelor.
Yeah.
You said it was a great show.
I love it.
It is trash. And with that, the news.
No, it's actually the best season ever.
The news, Eagle. Come on.
the best season ever.
Your comedic timing today is terrible.
Can't do that to me.
It's the best.
Terrible.
Did you watch The Bachelor this season?
No,
it's the best
I've
season.
watched 48 seconds of one episode.
The best season.
Sarah's got me on this drag show.
So Colton has been on the show 3 times and he's a virgin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he's a
Maybe
virgin
he's a giant
anymore.
loser. Maybe he's a giant loser.
Maybe he's
Maybe-
just,
maybe nobody
he's-
wants you.
Maybe he's just one of the good guys.
Yeah, I don't think
But
so.
he said he's
You can have sex and be a good guy, by the
But
way.
what is a virgin? What if you just pump it through a couch?
No,
Or
no,
soaking.
no. It has to. You have to make vaginal penetration, or
But what if your couch identifies as a...
We watched a lot of Big Mouth.
that's a T-shirt right there. A
Oh.
couch identifying as a woman or a man. I love it.
Awesome.
Let's make it.
Odell Beckham Jr.
Mhm.
He's on his way out. He's shipping his couch to Cleveland
Good for him.
so he can have sex with it.
Fuck him. Can't stand that guy.
Why? So here's the thing. I don't understand why, because his teammates say he's a hard worker. His coaches say he's a hard worker.
Yeah.
He's not a problem in the
I
locker
hate
room.
babies.
It's the boat picture, isn't
But
it?
how is he a baby?
It's the boat picture.
It's the public. It's what he shows in the public. I don't see what happens.
Is
behind
his
the locker
dance
room.
moves? His dance moves are super weird.
He's a very good dancer.
You find? I
Yeah,
find
of
are just a
course.
bunch of awkward, weird moves together. He's answering a phone, then
They're
he's tying on
awkward and weird
shoes.
to you because there's really no way that you'll be able to do them.
Yeah.
No,
When
yeah,
you see
that
him,
was
when you
good.
see him,
I like that
he's
stuff.
basically the new Patrick Swayze. He's full Swayze. He's full Swayze.
So I just don't like what he puts out, and I like the whole
Touchdowns, catches, yards.
No, he's a great fucking player.
Because that's what he puts out.
Yeah, puts out a lot.
Unlike all the women you're Colton.
No, they wanted to.
I don't think so.
But he's like, I can't do it, man. You know, all that shit.
Yeah.
So with
Regular
ODB,
Jane
it's,
the
it's
Virgin.
more OBJ and ODB. It's OBJ. It's
I
more.
call him ODB because of the bastard. I do the same thing.
It's just it's what he puts out, and that's what I don't like. But I agree with everything you said. I'm not in the locker room, so I can't tell you. But everything I've said, I've heard is that
He hasn't done a bad thing, like a real bad thing.
I agree.
A legitimately bad thing.
I agree.
Right?
I just don't like it. I don't like the sideline thing with the net. Just complaining all the time. I don't like it when you're on a team and you're complaining about your team. If you want to talk about a good locker room guy, why are you going on Twitter calling out Eli Manning?
Well, because like I don't know if
Eli
you saw
Manning
Eli
sucks.
Manning play last season. It's not that he sucks. It's just at some point you can't at some point you can't film Weekend at Bernie's 3. You bought him to life twice already.
Yeah.
What's the third storyline?
You trade the best receiver for a safety that's probably going to be a bust, and you give away a first and a third round pick for him.
And that's Weekend at Bernie's 3. But like I will say, there's no boats in Cleveland,
Bolts and holes.
so he can't get in trouble there.
Nope.
I also found out a weird thing. It's a guy's day off.
Yeah.
Like you and I, we work hard, right?
Sometimes.
Sunday is the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Lord.
I will be obliterated.
I'm not a huge fan of St. Patty's.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's hang out.
but I will be obliterated.
Yes.
On Monday I work. Will I do a good job at work? Absolutely. Will I be ready for work? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the thing is, why is it that a dude on his day off, who's done all the preparation up to then, on his day off says, "I'm gonna go on the boat for a couple hours."
I didn't care
And
that he went on a boat.
Yeah, I just found it a strange storyline to focus on.
I didn't care. Yeah, a lot of people. When you're that type of person, when you're loud and you're flashy, and anything you do is gonna get attention. Anything you do.
But the funny thing about that picture is all those guys are not on the team anymore.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
all-
Oh no, Sterling Sharp.
It's also because it was only the offense that went on that boat, and then they managed to shit the bed a few weeks in a
Okay,
row
but
on
right.
offense.
Yeah.
He just
exactly.
again, it didn't help him that he
It
played poorly
perpetuated the
afterwards.
storyline
Okay,
of them
but
not prepping.
Obviously,
He played on
likely
the boat
would have
doesn't
played. Like it doesn't have an impact on whether or not he played poorly.
Agree,
Yeah.
but it's the perception.
But what were they doing on that boat?
Perception
Is
is
the
everything.
question.
I've learned that the hard way. What?
What were they doing on that boat? Is the question.
All right. Duke always turns it dark.
Yeah.
The implication.
Okay, what's your reckless speculation? What they were doing?
I won't say. I won't say it.
Clubbing seals.
Yeah, could be. Could be just fishing. Maybe they're just fishing, taking it easy. Maybe they were actually talking about the competition, man. I don't know.
The Minnesota Vikings boat party, part
See,
two.
now that was a different boat
That was a
party.
great boat party.
That was a great boat party.
Sex? I never had sex before. Remember that?
With the Wizinator.
By the way, so ODB.
Was it Mike Tice?
No, it was
not ODB, but
I feel like we had
it
this
was
argument
Ontario
3 weeks ago.
Ontario Smith.
Ontario Smith.
He
yes.
had the Wizinator in his desk.
so Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be costing the Giants like about $20 million, right?
So they're still
From
going to
what I-
pay. They have to
yeah,
still have
they're
to pay
going to
his
be paying
guarantee,
him this season.
but it's not against the cap.
It is against the cap.
It is
Yeah,
against the
the
cap.
first year's against cap.
Okay, that's what it is.
I know that because I'm a Dolphins fan.
Antonio Brown too. Same
Speaking
thing.
of Antonio Brown,
Yeah.
he's on the move. The next big name to be traded, it wasn't a free agent move. He weirdly acted as though he was a free agent. He kept
true,
saying,
you know-
"I'm going to announce my team in a few hours." And I was
He had a
with,
big say on who
I was,
he goes
I
to.
was with him. We were way too deep
Yeah.
into
Way too
bottle
deep.
of whiskey.
We were on one, as the kids say.
But we can hear about that later, by the way.
Yeah.
But this is a separate day.
Where is it?
What?
Where is the bottle?
Which one?
Well, the one you guys said you're going to bring a bottle of whiskey.
No, we didn't check
No,
luggage.
it
so.
didn't arrive,
okay.
Terry.
That's a shame.
It didn't make it here.
So the we're talking about this, and we're just saying how it's strange. He keeps acting as though he's a free agent.
Yeah.
He keeps saying, "I'm going to announce my next team. I'm going to do," and to credit the Steelers, nobody said like, "Chill." They let him do it. Like he's free to say what he wants.
Yeah.
And then they went on to trade him for a third and a fifth, a lot less value than
Than what?
Odell Beckham returned.
Well, than what we thought. So I feel like the Steelers are getting a lot of flack for this, but it wasn't that bad of a trade if you think about the amount of pressure they have to keep this guy, occupy X amount of percentage on his cap, and not get anything in return. So they panicked and they knew that he had other offers. So they took the best offer possible from what we know so far. Apparently, the Patriots offered something better.
Yeah,
to
but
a
they
second
didn't want
and a
to trade him to
fourth.
the Patriots.
Of course not. Why would you want to trade him to the Patriots?
Because you get more. It's second and a fourth.
I get it, but
I
you're
kinda-
going to
Isn't
be
it
playing
business?
against him where they think, oh, we'll get sent to the Raiders. They suck.
Well, but so
It's true.
I
And,
kind of,
and the Raiders don't play the Steelers until 2021.
Yeah, there you go.
but I kind of am with Duke on this in that like you need to do the best for your team and not the worst for an opponent because like so
Yeah.
in fantasy, like in fantasy football, you're always trying to get the most value back for your guy, and you're not worried about the guy you're playing against. I feel like it's just an old-fashioned way of looking
Yeah,
at
it's not the
things.
same. I know, I agree, but I think it's more as they're more. It was more likely that they would play him against the Patriots than they would against.
They're worried about the AFC final matchup and then going up against.
Oh,
them
you
But
with-
mean-
then if you're that worried about playing him, why don't you pay him?
But why would the Steelers care about the matchup between the Browns and the Patriots?
What?
they don't. The
Exactly.
Raiders.
No, but they're not going to play them in any AFC Championship game. I mean, the AFC
Why-
Championship game
why-
is going to go through the Browns and the Patriots.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
There you go.
Because Le'Veon Bell also moving on. He signs with the Jets.
Love it.
So the one thing you said to
And the
credit
Jets are going to win that division. I've already put money on it.
you said already.
Yeah, I put money on the Browns making
Oh,
the AFC
Jesus,
Championship,
you're gonna cry.
and I put money on the Jets winning that division.
That's
It won't
that's
be
a
the
waste of
Dolphins,
money
so-
right there.
For sure. Or the Bills.
The thing that's interesting though is the Steelers as an organization. They're a historic organization.
Yes.
They then lose two of their top three pieces in this offseason in a way that is public and bizarre.
In a way that's going to get your head coach fired if you don't do anything about it this year.
But so, is there something wrong with the way the organization is running in sort of 2019?
Yeah, there's very old school. Like we said a couple weeks ago, the fact that they've only had 3 coaches their entire. I mean, not that you should pride yourself on firing coaches, but they're a very old school organization, and they don't really go with the times. They go with their own beat. They've always been like that, and it's been very successful for them. So why change it, right? So I mean, it just sucks. I think that now that the Browns are stacked, it's going to be harder for them to win that division. And but for Antonio Brown, it was such a bad decision to go to the Raiders.
You find you really don't like that move, eh?
Because if you look at his highlights, if you look at any catch that Brown's made, it's either a nice ball,
Yeah.
by Ben, or it's not that he didn't make a great play or a nice route or whatever. He's still going to do those things, but Carr can't throw a back shoulder pass like Ben can.
It's also
Carr can't throw more than 30 yards properly.
And the other thing too, you bring up a good point, is the thing that worries me most is anyone that's watched any bit of Raiders know that Derek Carr does not throw over 7 yards.
Can't.
It's he
Well, but
averages
he also-
less. He averages less than 7 yards.
That's why
per
Jordy
throw.
Nelson didn't do well, because Jordy
Yes.
Nelson's he spreads the field.
That
more.
being said, though, I mean, can you even name another receiver outside of Jordy Nelson on that team?
At this point, I cannot.
So I feel like
You mentioned one in the car, and I don't
yeah,
remember.
Marcel Aitman.
Oh,
Aitman,
yeah,
that's
of course,
it.
yeah.
Marcel.
I know, but
Aitman.
I wouldn't be like put a gun to my head. Nope.
Because there's Marcel Aitman. There's
What happened to Martavius Bryant?
well, yeah. So Martavius Bryant, they picked him up halfway through the season. Then they dropped. Well, they traded for him for third round. Then they dropped him when they heard there was going to be a drug test. So they let him get his drug test, and then when he came back and he said, I guess he didn't get suspended. They picked him up again. So they were smart about that in a way. They're like,
It's
no one's going to touch you anyway. So let's just not deal with a negative
I like
drug
Martavius
test.
Bryant. I thought he had a big future.
It's just that Derek Carr's not a great quarterback.
The
Sorry.
Bills, who got cucked by Antonio Brown,
They got cut.
got cucked. Every week on the show, someone's
They're
getting
just
cut.
watching.
But they
You're watching
improved
from the
with Cole
doorway.
Beasley.
But so here's the thing. So instead, they got Cole Beasley, John Brown, Frank Gore.
Not bad.
Not exactly a big splash. And
I
you're
like
the
it.
only one who likes Cole Beasley.
No. I mean, as a Cowboys fan, I appreciate.
He's
Cole
any guy.
I appreciate him,
He's a guy. He's just a person.
but I appreciate him.
He puts on a football jersey. He's
I-
fine.
I appreciate the person and the player that he is,
Okay.
Do you like Adam Humphries?
because he runs specific routes very well.
Yeah.
And he
but I
catches
feel-
balls. He doesn't
I feel
drop balls.
like there's how many receivers in the NFL?
He's
Give me a
also a
number.
very good kick returner.
Give me a number of receivers in the NFL.
I'm gonna say 253.
So of the 253 of the number you just made up, there is 196 Cole Beasleys?
No,
Yes.
there's 196 5'10" white guys.
Well, no, I mean, they give you the same or better production,
No, I don't think
given
so.
the opportunity.
I do not think so. If that was the case, then guys like Switzer would be a lot better. You know what I mean? Because he's basically
And see,
his
the whole
copy.
Switcher thing, he's just on the team because he's named after the ex-coach, right?
Well, no, he doesn't belong to the Cowboys anymore. They got rid of him.
I know, but he was only there because Barry Switzer used to coach the Cowboys. Has to be.
No, he's a good player. He plays for the Steelers. He's a good player. I mean, good.
I like my theory better.
No, Cole Beasley is a good receiver. He's your number 3 receiver. He's never going to be higher than a number 3 receiver.
So 3 times 32. So there's at least 96.
Yes, but he's the best third receiver. So he's number 96.
No, that's the worst.
He's not
one.
97, not 98.
That's the worst one. That's some.
You
No,
want it
no,
to be
that's what I'm saying. He's
65.
the best third receiver.
So 65.
65.
Not 96.
yeah, exactly.
96 is the worst.
Yeah,
That's the end of
65.
it.
Can't do math.
Guys, I'm putting together an Excel sheet to find out how many
right.
receivers are in the
Thank you.
NFL.
We're-
I'll get back to you.
Wait
We're
till the
probably
show.
never going to get that.
Trey Flowers to the Lions.
Yeah, that's a nice one too.
But
But the Lions do nothing.
Anthony Barr milks the Vikings, who are already so cap tight.
I'm surprised he didn't go to the Jets.
Wait,
But with the Jets have been able to sign Bell.
I don't know what their cap situation was.
It's also true.
Overthecap.com. Can you give me the
Eagle.
Oh, you're gonna do your shit there. The thing that we're not gonna get before the end of the episode.
Tyrann Mathieu goes to the Chiefs. The Eagles trade for Deshaun Jackson. Nick Foles going to the Jackson. I thought they were gonna make him for Ryan Tannehill, who's been a starter for a long. No, because I don't.
Very confused.
I don't think there's a huge world of difference except one's been a starter and you have a larger volume of work, and the other one's a backup quarterback.
So when
who
I
just happened to have a couple of big moments.
Yeah, when you think about both of them, you see Tannehill. He's not a bad quarterback. I never thought he was a bad quarterback.
The cap hit didn't make sense.
And he was paid way too much.
Yeah, like
For
this
his
year the
success.
Dolphins would have had to pay him $21.7 million.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Remember
Crazy.
when we broke the news about that a month ago?
Yeah, and we were wrong, but we were right. We were right. I didn't fact check us on that because we were right.
Where Foles took a payday and is gonna suck.
Gotcha.
And he almost quit football.
What is it?
221.
Hey,
It's not bad.
it's not bad.
It's pretty
It's
good.
pretty close, guys.
I thought there was more to be
Because
honest.
I did 7 per team.
You were off by one receiver per team.
Yeah, I did 7 per team. So there you go.
There is one receiver with a Z in a last name. Do you care?
And his
Yes.
name is
Brandon
Zealer,
Zylstra.
Zylstra.
And he plays for
You
the
just
Minnesota
made up a
Vikings.
name,
Yeah,
sorry.
and he's from Concordia in Minnesota.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Um,
Whenever I create myself in Madden, I always choose Concordia.
now the Redskins. Sorry, my mistake. The Washington Redskins.
No one.
The Washington Redskins.
The Washington racists.
Redskins, absolutely.
Yeah.
They signed Landon Collins to a huge contract. Did
Good for
that
them.
surprise you?
And when he picks off Eli Manning twice this year, it's gonna be even better.
That's fair. But did they get the Giants? They get Jabril Peppers to take his place.
Sure, but that's. I mean, I like Jabril Peppers. He's
But
great.
he's not as good as
great in
Landon Collins.
Michigan. I think that him going to New York is gonna kill him. He's a flashy guy in a big city.
What do you take from like analysts? Like, I mean, I only heard this after the trade of Landon Collins, but there were a lot of analysts, gas bags that were saying that Landon Collins is a box safety, meaning that he does not
He's
great in
always-
coverage. He hits whatever's in front
Yeah,
of him.
he's not. Neither's Jabril Peppers. They're the same player basically, except Landon Collins is a
Landon
little
Collins
older.
is a better version of that.
Yeah, and he's a little older. That's it.
And Jabril Peppers, every time he's used to return a kick, fumbles it. It's awesome.
That's
The amount of times I've seen that
he
replay.
played Michigan, not Miami.
Michigan.
Michigan,
correct.
yeah. I don't know.
Michigan.
Russell Wilson's flashy guy. Russell Westbrook's a flashy guy.
Flashy, very flashy. when you're-
Involved in the situation this week.
So, what do you think? Because I know our Hot Sauce Twitter account went nuts.
Sorry, guys.
Our hot sauce Twitter account. I was actually on board with the hot sauce Twitter account, except for calling the entire city of Utah trash people.
Well,
that was a little too far.
Prove
That
me
was a
wrong.
little too far.
Prove
No,
me
no,
wrong.
it's okay. What
Prove
do
me
you mean
wrong.
me? It's we. We're Hot Sauce. We're Hot Sauce. Or else we're just gonna get you your own Twitter.
You know, I actually have one.
I promise you, we are playing. I swear to God. I swear to God.
So people are, yeah.
You and your wife.
You and your wife.
No,
It's the wife part.
I promise you. Everything I love. Everything I love. I promise you.
So yeah,
Go ahead.
it's the wife part that's bad.
It's not amazing. It's a bad look.
The reason why people are defending this guy is because Westbrook said something about the guy's wife.
And
if he
that
kept
guy
it
milked
one on one, mano a mano, nobody would have
And
said
that guy
anything.
milked it. That guy Shane, what's his face?
Kiesel?
Kiesel, who apparently is a cousin of Matt Kiesel from the Steelers. And he also apparently was once a highway patrolman who decided to quit the force to sell Toyotas. Like, I believe that.
Do they call
And apparently his racist Twitter is fake, by the way.
do they call highway patrolmen the force?
No,
They're not much of a
no,
force.
because they're not.
No. They're forceless. So buying a ticket to a game doesn't give you the right to harass people.
It gives you the right to yell things. No. Sorry, continue, and I'm going to tell you why I disagree. But we're on the same page.
So you can cheer, you can jeer, which are opposites that sound bizarrely similar, but I don't think you can verbally assault someone no matter what the situation is.
Hey, Duke.
So buying
God,
a ticket doesn't
fuck
give you extra rights.
Yeah.
It doesn't allow you to do it. So for example, like, are you allowed to murder someone? Because you can't murder someone outside the field.
No.
You can't verbally abuse someone outside the court. So why is it on the court that you paid a ticket? You've bought the right to do so?
We're just getting we're just going back to like gladiator days, where no, you're right. I'm agreeing with you. I think that if you're gonna say that, you're not, which you shouldn't, then the person saying something back to you, no matter who it is, should not be penalized.
I think there's one thing that a lot of people are not seeing. Okay, so when Russell Westbrook said that it was racial, the automatic reaction a lot of people said it's not, nothing about it is racist, right?
Because he didn't
But
say,
here-
go get
No,
on
but-
your knees, you this. He didn't
No,
say that.
I get that, but
he's
I
insinuating it.
still think that when you're telling someone to get on their knees, you can either have there's a sexual connotation, but also a connotation that a lot of
Subservience.
yes, or when you get arrested by the police, what do they say? Get on your knees.
And he was part of the force.
The force.
So I don't know. I think that there's a lot to unpack there. And
No, didn't Russell Westbrook take a knee when this whole Kaepernick thing started?
no, I don't think. I really don't. Yes, I'll check into that, but I don't think that's
Because
what he
I read
meant by
somewhere that's
Yeah.
what it was related to. Well, I mean, that's what Westbrook said.
The thing that I find strange about this whole thing, that in Utah, the maximum percentage for beer is 3.2%. So you can't even blame that shit on beer.
Well, I mean,
Fix yourself, Utah.
unless you're
Fix yourself.
lightweight.
I guess so. Well, imagine they change the law. Like next year, they're allowed to drink like 7% Imperial IPAs, and they lose half the population.
Because they're all or they double it because of all the sex.
It's true.
Yeah.
Or they just replace the ones they lose.
As a general comment, right? If someone showed up at your work and started screaming shit at you, you'd tell them to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you think athletes are expected to accept it
No,
because
I don't-
they're
I don't-
employed?
No, but generally they are.
I don't expect him to.
It's what he said. If he told
Also,
the
your
guy-
mic was off.
If Westbrook, no, I think it
I
was.
was on. Okay.
If Westbrook told a guy and he said, "Hey, fuck you, man. Why don't you get on your knees?" Or go fuck yourself.
It's the heat of the
or
moment, though, man.
leave.
It's the heat of the
Instead,
moment.
he threatens the guy and his wife.
Yeah.
I think that it's just that it's what he said. He attacked a woman, and that's what we're very Me Too right now.
The thing that put me into that place where I had to respond to was the fact that, like, you know, when they're interviewing him, that thing bothered me so much when he's calling Russell Westbrook classless. And the thing too is he's milking it. When he's being interviewed after a game, he's saying, "Well, it's my wife's first game. Oh well, that's too bad. She looks
Her
like
last
whatever."
game now.
You know, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like, well,
Yeah,
aren't
it should
you
be
the
your
idiot?
last games because you should both be banned from the stadium, which we'll get to in a second. But
Segue.
Lori Loughlin of Full House fame, and Becky.
It's not. Isn't it Laughlin?
Is it Loughlin or Laughlin?
When you pronounce GH.
I heard Loughlin this morning.
Okay, sure. So maybe
I also read it as Loughlin my entire childhood, but heard Loughlin this morning. But Lori and Becky, she's been arrested.
What?
Absolutely. Have you seen the story? Have you seen the story, Terry?
No, I didn't see the story. She's got some knockers on her.
She is honestly, her and John Stamos are allergic to aging.
She has everything going for her, which makes this story amazing.
Yeah. Oh no, you're talking about Aunt Becky.
Yeah.
Becky.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
Desperate
daughter.
Housewife?
No, I
Desperate
thought you were
Housewife?
talking on the Full House with the middle daughter, the ugly one,
Jodie Sweden?
the one that's
Why do we know all their names?
the one that's still on Full House now.
Jodie, well, there are three of them on still
so
on Full
the
House.
middle one with the one
Jodie
that-
Sweden.
I guess so.
Yeah.
What's her name on the show? Jenny.
Yes.
It was Jenny.
Let's say yes.
The whitest girl, American girl name.
So just so you know,
Jenny.
so she
Becky.
the thing is she paid to have her kids admitted into USC. And there's
Why
a
is that
complication that they there's a complication
paid
that
somebody off.
they were also USC athletes. And
Her
so-
kids are athletes.
yeah, I believe so.
John Stamos' kids are athletes.
No,
They're not.
Jesse Katsopoulos.
They're not.
but there's a great someone composed
Oh,
a
you mean
great
they're not
song about this. You need to follow the show, Terry.
Whatever happened to a meritocracy? The class rank, the GPA, even SATs.
I love.
Everywhere you look,
I would still
Yeah.
There's a
It's still- it's the whole
buy her
time.
nice seafood dinner.
pay price to. Everywhere you look,
And Felicity Huffman's the other one, right? From Desperate Housewives?
Of somebody whose mom's screwed. Everywhere you look, when your kid's not right, just get on the phone. Pay $500,000 to get them enrolled. Everywhere you
Okay, so
look.
what did she do? She paid USC.
Yeah.
She paid USC to get her kids in as athletes, but they're not athletes.
Yeah.
How do you get them in as athletes? They're just students.
They frauded their student records to make them look like they were on a rowing team.
And there's no rowing team at USC.
There is a rowing team. They were
There's a
admitted
rowing
to
team.
it, and
It's
they
not that
never
level
went.
of
They were
fraud.
bench warmers.
It would be the
basically.
equivalent of
They're
getting a
bench warmers.
football scholarship, but you've never played football.
How many
and then
guys
you never
are-
go to practice?
how many
so
guys
she
drink
paid
March
off like the
Madness?
dean,
Yeah.
and they just said, okay, we'll give you a rowing scholarship.
How many
And
guys
so
drink? How many guys drink March Madness we see in the background on the bench, and you're just like, they're never gonna play.
Like Calipari's son.
But they're actually good at basketball.
except for Calipari's son. So the thing is that the reason why this is all being investigated now is not because the government particularly cares about athletics or academia. It's that, like, do you
Because she's on
think
Full
the
House.
school is then declaring the income?
Yeah, exactly. That's the
So
reason why.
it's we're entering a pretty interesting like part of human existence where this stuff can't be done under the table anymore. So I wonder how boosters and so on and so forth are going to be able to get by.
Oh, they get by. Joey Bosa got by. Joey Bosa
Strip
got
club
by
money.
hard.
James Dolan kicked a dude
Oh,
out.
I was like, I thought it was James Owens.
James,
Dolan, yeah. I like that guy, man.
we have a clip of this as well. This is a shorter clip.
I like that guy. Let me see this.
Really? Because you're not a Knicks fan.
Yes.
But I like him.
You like him. Sure you do.
Because of this. I like him.
Really?
Yeah.
Sell the team! Anything I should sell the team? You want to not come to any more games? Why? That's rude.
It's an opinion.
No, it's not an opinion. And you know what? Enjoy watching them on TV.
To be fair, it's not an opinion. Saying
what?
I think you should sell the team.
Bring him,
is
yeah,
an
him. Hold him for
opinion.
Kevin.
Sell the
Hold
team
him for Kevin.
is
Hold
sta-
him for Kevin.
That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
And I
why
like
do you
that.
love
He,
it?
I like that he put his foot down and he actually kicked the guy out.
So
You
do you
know
think
why?
the
'Cause it's
NBA
my
like-
fucking house.
Do you
That's
think
why.
the NBA likes it?
No, absolutely not. Fuck that. It's my house. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. Just like that fucking fan
And
in
by the way,
Utah.
was
But I
that
don't think it's the same thing. He
no,
said
no.
sell the team.
No, I'm saying is that Utah decided to. It's my house. We're gonna kick him out. Season ticket holder. I don't give a shit. We're kicking him out. So owner, my team. I rent this fucking place 41 times a year because they don't make the playoffs.
So what you're saying?
And
Did you
I'm
like
allowed to
him?
kick you out.
Did you like him when he banned Knicks legend Charles Oakley and had him arrested?
That was a mess.
Yes, because I always thought that Charles Oakley was very
That was a
overrated.
real
So
mess.
just get him off the court. I'm kidding.
I mean, nobody
No,
hit an
it's a
18-foot
mess.
jumper like
It's a
Charles
mess.
Oakley.
It's a mess.
It's the only thing he did.
Nobody can miss a free throw. Like
Dolan
Charles
went on ESPN radio later on to say that he was ambushed by this van.
Yeah.
Ambush
But we
is
have
the
a
word he
video
used.
of it.
But I'm saying you saw
He
it.
must have, but he
And
must have
he
seen it.
said
To say that.
Dolan said that he felt ambushed.
I know,
the
but
fan.
why would he say that? There's video of it.
Because he's very thin-skinned and he's a terrible manager.
So there's
and a terrible owner.
So
but as a hockey owner, not so bad.
a mutual friend of ours
Yes.
told me a story about how he wants to get. He owns a theater in LA, and the Clippers want to in Inglewood, and the Clippers want to build their new arena there in Inglewood, and it's right across the street from this theater, and he has like an unwritten rule with the city of Inglewood that he's going to be like the main entertainment attraction, and nothing could be within a certain amount of radius from him, from that building. And now him and the Clippers owner, I forgot his name, are like
It's
going.
not Donald Sterling.
No, absolutely not. Donald Sterling's wife are going back and forth, like fighting
Steve
because
Ballmer.
of this.
Steve Ballmer.
Steve Ballmer, there you go.
That's
Because of this. So the Clippers are going to get a stadium right across the street from them, from James Dolan's theater,
Well, he's gonna get a payday.
and he's going to get a nice payday.
Yeah. The thing with James Dolan, the league has social president like with Donald Sterling. They will take a team away. Now, the Knicks value is $4 billion. $4 billion. How long will they continue to allow James Dolan to run a team poorly? Like, I don't think he'll lose a team because of this incident or these incidents.
So-
but the fact that he's such a terrible owner and he's not gonna I know you think they're getting Durant. They're not getting
They
Durant.
are getting Durant and they're getting Kyrie.
They're not
also.
getting Kyrie. They're not getting Durant because who wants to work with a guy who's
We're
a
on the
terrible
same-
boss?
Hey, we're on the same page here. You know why? You know who? Two terrible people like Durant.
Why are they terrible?
No,
people?
not Kyrie. I like Kyrie. Durant. He's a terrible human being.
Yeah, they're both going to
Fake Twitter accounts. How do you? No.
And flat earther Kyrie Irving.
And flat earther Kyrie. Both terrible human beings. They belong together.
But I mean, how
Belong.
much do they have to deal with the owner? You think? I mean, they just go there and they play basketball.
He's your boss. You see him every day.
That's true. But I mean, their boss now probably sucks. Actually, no, probably not. Probably not Durant, but
Yeah,
maybe
not in
Kyrie.
San Francisco. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to rapid fire. We have no interview this week because we have a ton of news. We got some big interviews coming though, so stay tuned for that.
And you can subscribe. Yeah, you can always subscribe.
They get the shows, then they choose to listen to it or
subscribe
not.
on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and then follow us at Hot Sauce Sports on every social media.
No one, you can't be oversubscribed because that's not a word.
Exactly. So
So-
subscribe just the right amount of time.
Be a word.
So just get us free alcohol. So be
Be one or the other.
Be an
really.
alcohol company, like whiskey. I like whiskey.
I like
Pick,
vodka.
pick a company that's not an alcohol company.
Oof, Minute Maid.
Minute Maid, start making booze.
But you know why?
French's mustard. French's mustard bourbon.
I said Minute Maid because
Hey,
I mix it with my booze.
That's an idea right there. That's a fucking idea.
I drink that shit.
Yeah.
Minute Maid Bourbonade.
Oh,
Minute Maid Bourbonade. Eagle, you're the
We
marketing
go
guy.
from Bourbonade to rapid fire. Let's do it.
Rapid fire.
Oh, why is he doing
This is not rapid at all.
All right.
It's
I was
the
just messing with you
slowest
guys. A knee on the floor. A-Rod and J-Lo.
Why do you
here's-
sound like a stripper, like a
That's how I'm
MC
gonna
at
do
a
it.
strip club?
That's how I do it, bro.
So the easy joke is, J-Lo's gonna have soon to have as many rings as Tom Brady.
Yeah, I saw that. Was
Blah blah blah. But to me, the real joke no one's getting into is the reason A-Rod can still perform performance-enhancing drugs. So,
Maybe.
pretty
Viagra.
impressed. But this also leads us to Jose Canseco Twitter, who tweeted that
I wish we could get Jose Canseco on.
J-Lo doesn't know what she's getting into because A-Rod's been cheating with my ex-wife.
That's amazing.
But he was right about Alex Rodriguez and
he's not
steroids
lying. He's not
before.
lying. He's not lying.
But he's also been lying about Bigfoot.
You want his tweets? I got his tweets right here.
No, he's
You
not.
got the tweet?
I got one.
Jose Canseco wasn't a guy who lies.
Here's the tweet.
I was there a few months back with her when he called her on her phone, followed by J-Lo. If you want the truth about Alex Rodriguez, call me at. Then he puts his phone number because everybody needs.
Also,
his phone number.
to book a Bigfoot tour, book me at.
He put his phone number there?
Yes, and then followed by Alex Rodriguez. I challenge you to a boxing match or an MMA match anytime you want.
What's also funny is previously Jose Canseco was scheduled to fight a boxing match where he sent his twin brother instead, and they were told apart because they don't have the same tattoos.
Nope.
So his brother's just as jacked as he is?
Yeah, well,
Jose
probably not
Canseco.
as Jack was like, yeah, it's kind of Jose Canseco. Nope,
man.
it's not.
My spirit animal. Love that guy.
Followed by Jessica Canseco coming out saying that those false accusations Jose is making is not true. Blah blah blah.
You know why? 'Cause
As
she
for
still has
Jose,
his last
as for Jose, he can keep playing with his alien friends.
You're still playing what?
He can
Keep
continue
playing
playing
with
with
his
his alien
alien
friends.
Nice.
Next up, Grateful and Alive, Jamie Baker.
Yesterday on the website The Athletic, they published a story that was entitled Once at a Place of No Hope, Sharks broadcaster Jamie Baker is gratefully alive. It was beautifully written by Katie Strang, and Bakes is here to talk about it now, and I know this isn't easy, Bakes, but the first thing I got to ask you is why you decided to go public with something that for most people would be so private.
Hanging on here. It's been hard few days.
Hang in there, buddy.
When I took the leave of absence last year, I knew I wanted to talk about it at some point, but I had to be strong enough to do it. I don't look strong right now, but I've been through a lot the last year. I've worked really hard, and I wanted to get the right person. And I had no timetable. I just knew that I wanted to tell a story because it was the right thing to do. Because I've been through a lot of things that people didn't know. And Bellette's talk day, I guess a month or so ago, I sent out a tweet, and I got some people that contacted me, and I got in touch with Katie Strang and talked to her, and I thought she would be perfect, and I thought she did a really admirable, phenomenal, terrific job. A lot of background, talking to people I know, and really getting a historical look at my struggles.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got to feel for a guy. And I think when we had Robbie Shrimp on a few weeks ago, he talked about it as well. And a lot of these professional athletes, they go through this shit, man. It fucks you up.
And so we normally do comedy and slapstick and bullshit, and it's fun.
I feel really bad for saying his name the way I did.
What did you say?
I just said it weird.
How'd you say it?
We'll rewind it later.
Eagle, can you make a live
Jamie Baker?
I wish I did that.
I wish you would listen to the story first. No, but the thing is, look, we do a lot of comedy. We make fun of a lot of things, but it's awesome if we have an opportunity to share his story and it can help other people. It's super important to us. It doesn't just happen to athletes, and athletes are often ones who don't come forward, and regular people likewise don't come forward. But if they see someone who's on television, someone who played for the Quebec Nordiques, who played for San Jose Sharks, who played for Toronto Maple Leafs, fan bases know this person.
Yeah, you have a relationship with the person.
And he saw it as his duty to come out and share his story to potentially help people. That's truly heartwarming.
Exactly. I mean, you're not going to knock the guy for doing it. Duke.
Next up, South Beach Smash, Conor McGregor.
So everybody's losing their mind because he broke a guy's phone.
Well, he's being charged with
Strong arming.
strong arm robbery.
Burglary.
Yeah, so they carry sentences of 15 and 5 years.
That's crazy.
Florida is a crazy place,
Yeah,
man.
Florida's
So
fucked up.
first thing I read as I was reading the story, I was like, Florida, and of course, on top of that, South Beach. Do you think there should be different? The judge should hear cases differently based on if they happened in Montreal, New York, L.A., Las Vegas, and Miami.
Yes, absolutely.
Like at 5 a.m. Like, we know why he's not taking a jog at 5 a.m.
No,
Conor McGregor's in great shape, but we know why you're at Fontainebleau 5 a.m.
Fontainebleau. He's
Yeah.
going to Tremblant?
Absolutely. No, but no, it's a Fontainebleau. It's a hotel on, I believe it's Key Biscayne.
What's the strip club in Tremblant?
I think it's also Fontainebleau. All coincidence.
I'm pretty sure it is.
But the point is, it's around where all these clubs and
Yeah, of
hotels
course,
are.
yeah.
And so the valet goes to get his car, and he gets the guy's phone and smashes it. But I like the move. And like Conor McGregor, a little bait and switch. He's adding something to his game. He goes in for a handshake, pulls the guy in, grabs his phone,
Arm drag.
smashes it.
Arm drag.
Yeah.
It's an MMA move.
So I'm kind of impressed.
Yeah. I mean,
He's been working at arm drag.
I just don't think that it should have been made to what it is. He took the guy's phone for some any reason, and he broke it. Pay for the phone, community service, pay a fine, do all that shit. But like,
I got the
you punched the guy. Completely different story. He didn't.
I got the victim's name. On,
Yeah, I got it.
Can you read it for me? It's difficult.
I will try very hard. Ahmed Abirzak.
So Ahmed Abirzak is the victim here, but I'm gonna call bullshit.
I don't know, but the way Duke says his name, I really want a lap dance from him.
I'm gonna call one thing of bullshit, and the second thing of bullshit is he doesn't give lap dances. The first thing of bullshit is he said
you don't know if he does.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna judge. 2019.
That's it.
2019.
Don't ever assume his profession.
Well, his profession's valet. We know that.
He has a side job.
He should have channeled his inner Sonny from The Godfather with the camera smash.
Oh yeah, it's true.
You gonna
First
play
you
it?
smash it.
Are you playing it?
And then
And
you
then
pay
you
him
kick
for
it.
It's not bad.
And you throw the money on the floor. Yeah,
But
go buy another one. Fuck.
the straight up bullshit is he lost pictures. He said he lost pictures of his kid. He's never gonna see again. Bitch, you don't have a cloud.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
2019.
It's all backed up, bro.
Listen, I'm not gonna judge you for lap
No, if
dancing.
he doesn't have an iPhone.
Now,
man.
unless you took the picture and he didn't save it yet, it was literally on the screen.
So he took a picture of his kid, got in the car, still the picture open.
Yeah, that's the only way because otherwise it's backed up.
Or he's got like a Motorola flip phone. In which case, Conor McGregor did him a favor. He's gonna get a new phone.
Yes. Next.
Draymond's shit. Steve Kerr freaking out.
So I love.
We have to record you.
Steve Kerr.
Sorry,
We are recording him. We're recording
No,
all
like,
of us.
separately, and then we insert them.
Steve Kerr. He had a great explanation where he just sarcastically answered, "No, I said I don't agree with Draymond's approach at all." And they're like, "Well, we can lip read." It's like, "No, that's what I said."
That's
Like,
what I
just
said.
not giving any like.
But technically, it is what he said, just
Yeah.
not in those exact words.
It was just funny that like, and then
I love the way he
none of the
answers
reporters got it. And the reporters like, Steve Kerr lies about what he
He
says.
lie? He
Is there drama in the Warriors locker room? Like, he's joking around. He's just playing with you guys.
So
he's
he-
clowning you.
And but maybe is the beginning of the end? That's what everybody's saying. I'm not going to read too much into this. You spend so much time with somebody, you start getting sick of their shit too.
I will say that there's a report I read. I want to say it was Bill Simmons who said the only threat to the Warriors dynasty is going to be complacency and boredom, and that there's a boredom that sets in when you're always winning, because now the first time they won,
It's true. It's not like the Patriots. The Patriots like they struggled during the year.
and it's not all the same guys with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Patriots. So there's a lot of guys hungry, whereas for
and there's 53 guys on the roster where you can get diluted a bit. In basketball, there's 12.
yeah.
And the same guys are always the ones being talked about. And yeah.
But even within those four guys, like the first time they won with the first time they won with Durant, it looked like happiness.
Yeah.
The second time they won with Durant, it looked like a weight was lifted off their shoulders. Like, oh, thank God. Okay,
Yeah.
we won. You know, and like I feel that feeling is going to grow where the pressure is going to be so immense to win, and then it ceases to be this lighthearted, fun atmosphere that we've seen from the Warriors for so long.
Steve Kerr is going to be like
The next coach of the Knicks.
no. Steve Kerr's not going to coach.
He's not moving.
Steve Kerr is going to be like Kobe. He's going to end his career there.
Mm-hmm.
And where I see all the other guys moving.
What's interesting is a guy who turned that job down to go be the head coach and GM of the Detroit Pistons, Stan Van Gundy. Huge mistake, bro.
Or maybe he would have ruined the team. Next.
That's it.
That's it. We got one last segment this week.
All right.
Yeah.
Because we don't have a guest, I wanted to keep it lighthearted. My brother and I, Duke and I,
up?
producer and graphicist,
Graphite.
and Hot Sauce Twitter. We went down to Savannah, Georgia for my bachelor party this past week. I missed last show. Thank you for filming and thank you for doing double time for both of you guys.
Always.
But I wanted to share a story, and then we call this segment "Story Time with Uncle Peeze." To share a story from the bachelor party, because you hear stories about bachelor parties, and you know some of them live up to hype. But I feel bad for my parents, who really are truly amazing, intelligent, great people, who somehow raised us.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
What did you guys do?
Well, I'll get the story in a second. Do we have the imaging ready at all? There we go.
Oh.
Story time with Uncle Peeze.
I'm in for a surprise.
I want to tell you about. Terry, feel free to interject, ask questions, because the story gets very confusing, convoluted.
Okay, I'm down. And when Duke's involved, it's usually confusing.
The first couple of drinks were had about 9 o'clock in the morning.
What kind of drinks are we talking about?
We were just smashing beers at the house.
All right.
No,
Standard breakfast.
There was bourbon too.
Standard American breakfast.
Yeah, well, bourbon was. I was saying about more 10, 11 o'clock. I was waiting for the Ubers, 10, 11
Yeah,
o'clock.
you're in the south of the United States. Standard American, South American breakfast.
One of my buddies filling up his Subway cup, those large, extra large Subway cups, because it's an open container city.
Which will come back to the story
You
later.
can't have glass though.
Okay,
so he's filling up whatever, you know. I filled my flask. A couple other guys filled their
So you
flasks.
can walk around the city with a drink.
Yeah, and the bars give you a to-go cup.
Is it the city or the state?
The city of Savannah.
Oh, it's just the city.
Savannah.
That's why you chose
Tibby
it,
Island. Yeah.
because it's shit.
No, we chose the cheapest flight to a place.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
The cheapest non-winter place.
I was wondering why you chose Savannah.
Yeah. Poverty. Lack of sponsors. Give us money.
Give us sponsors. Alcohol company or Minute Maid.
And if you're an alcohol company, this is the story for you. So we then left to go to a restaurant that was closed, where we sat in the parking lot waiting for the second Uber, because we were too many guys to fit in one Uber.
Okay, cool.
We're 7 guys. We sat in one parking lot, and I was in one car. This was another. This was the first time we were separated for the day. We get separated a lot.
Yeah.
It's part of the theme of the story. We get there, and we start pounding drinks in the parking lot.
Sure.
Get some beers in the...
So it's a tailgate party.
Yeah,
And you still
absolutely.
haven't done anything non-American.
Nothing.
Under a sign that says no loitering.
That's
we
okay.
Were
You're not loitering.
We were waiting for an Uber.
You're not loitering. You're drinking.
Yeah. So they were late because the Uber driver stopped at a bar and got them 3 shots of whiskey each.
Oh, okay.
Which were 3-ounce shots.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we're pounding whiskey. They're pounding whiskey. We're pounding beers.
By the way, that stop at the bar, it increased my Uber price by like $10. Insane. Just because he wanted to get a drink.
Yeah.
He wanted to get you guys a drink.
Yeah, sure.
Let's say that.
Did you pay for it or he paid for it?
No, I paid for everything.
You paid for the shots too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So then we then
lunch?
met up. We then met up at the closed restaurant and said, okay, we're gonna go to this other place. Their Uber driver brought them to another place called what was it, Weenie Willie's?
Yeah, man. Let's go with that.
Wet Willie's.
Wet Willie's.
Where they are famous for their alcoholic slushes.
They're famous for just, as you walk in, they lick their finger and they put it in your ear.
Yeah. That's the first thing. Next thing is the drink.
Okay.
So they then walk into this other bar that we're sitting at, having lunch, and beers and whiskey and everything. They walk in with their slushes, drinking.
Half rum.
Now here's where the story goes off the
Half
rails.
rum.
This is where the story. It's lunchtime. Duke's obliterated.
Yes.
See somebody. It's Ash Wednesday. For those who are uninitiated, it's where Catholics put ash crosses on their foreheads for no reason.
Forehead for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
This is probably after your Catholic priest puts his penis in your ass.
First step, penis. Second step, cross.
Cross.
So Duke sees this.
Maybe he uses the ash as lube. Okay, go.
It'd be the worst lube ever.
Slides right in.
Sees it and says, I gotta get crossed up. Throws $10 on the table for his drinks and his food and leaves. He leaves the bar. He comes back 10 minutes later.
10 minutes?
After saying, I can't find a church. And then we tell him, well, you didn't put enough money. Just takes another $10, throws it on the table.
Still not enough money.
And then I look down and my friend counting, and he's like, he left 18 cents tip. So I then rustle a couple bucks, throw on the table.
Yeah.
Then we then go into a CBD dispensary, lose the other guys, find them at a
They
bar
have
randomly
dispensaries?
called World of Beer, where they were being scammed by guys from Florida.
You're being scammed by guys from Florida.
Yeah.
Did they tell you they were from Florida originally?
Oh, they look like they were from Florida.
They look like they were from
They
Florida?
kept trying to make him bet $100.
Yeah.
But for no bet, just bet $100.
Because they thought I had $100.
I'm like, what's the bet for?
You look like you have $100.
So he says, what's the bet? I said, just put $100.
On what?
What's the bet? Just put $100.
And you did.
No, did not.
No, I don't have money. Don't you know this?
Did not. So Florida scammers were involved.
You already spent all your money on
Yeah,
the
on
shots, Uber driver, and
Yeah.
your $20.18.
We went down to the waterfront. They then continued into an alleyway to buy weed. There wasn't a deal. There wasn't a dealer in the alley. They just went down an alley and waited for a dealer to show up, which he did. Which he did.
That's not true.
And they bought weed.
That's lying. You're lying.
We went through a series of bars.
You're lying. You picked a random alley and somebody just showed up.
Honestly, I can't confirm or deny any of this story.
You're that hammered.
No, I honestly can't confirm or deny.
We went through a series of bars and started drinking, pounding back drinks.
It's not legal in Georgia, right?
What? It is not legal. CBD is legal, but not marijuana. So they then leave the drug dealer. We're at a bar.
Yeah.
We're bar hopping. We're like, they'll find us or not find us. I took a rickshaw with another buddy to another bar, thus segmenting our group further. I don't know why
What's a
we
rickshaw
took
again?
It's a dude on a bike with a carriage in the back.
okay.
He's hauling 450 pounds behind him, and I keep offering him drinks from my flask, and he's like, "Bro, I'm driving." He can't do that. And I would forget.
Dude, I'm fucking driving. Wait till I stop. Probably say one of those. Huh?
Then they went to church to get crossed up.
Well, it was for free pasta because I was broke, but it was also
There was dinner there. They had dinner afterwards in the basement of the church after getting crossed up.
It was you and who?
just one of my guys.
Okay.
Yeah, one of our boys.
Let's not be specific.
Let's not use too many names.
Okay, cool.
Tell
me after.
After taking a rickshaw, we got a text saying, "Let's meet up for dinner." To which me and my buddy kept answering, "Get fucked."
Because they ditched you.
No.
Or just like that.
Just like that. We got in an Uber where he had that Subway cup.
Yeah.
That's what we call in the business a recall. Remember how you used to do a Subway cup earlier? I grabbed the Subway cup out of his sleeping hands and proceeded to vomit entirely into it.
Yeah.
Who's this?
My buddy.
Okay, sorry.
Close
I
up.
thought it was you.
No, we were separated.
Okay,
we haven't seen each other since he left for church. Since he disappeared to an alley to buy drugs.
To get banged by the Catholic priest.
I then give the cup back for some reason. And then about 2 minutes from the house, I then need to vomit again.
No.
This time he refuses to give me the cup. So I vomit on us, on the two of us.
Okay, you haven't said that I'm fucking I'm regret. Okay, go continue.
We then
I'm gonna puke.
We get out of the house.
Yeah.
The next morning,
this music
I learned two things.
Yeah, this music.
My fiance texted me to see how kept FaceTiming me to see how I was. One of my friends answered her. Peeze is passed out. And so I know I fell asleep before 6:36 p.m. All of this happened before 6:36 p.m.
You guys are already eating. You guys got crossed up.
We didn't eat.
Drank a lot. You had pasta.
Yeah.
All before 6:30.
Yeah.
Very productive.
Crossed up.
Apparently, the guy who I was with, whose Subway cup I kept vomiting in, that we left in the cab. We left in the Uber. By the way.
Okay, so nobody drank out of that.
No, we left it in the Uber. So I don't know if they drank
I
out
was
of it.
about to get anxious.
He then spent the rest of the night trying to convince people to get into the hot tub with him naked, and then he was running around the house saying, "Why is my dick so small?"
Yeah, it was strange. Strange
So
night.
the next thing I learned
Who
that morning.
spiked your drink?
The next thing I learned the next morning was if you vomit in an Uber, there's a $150 surcharge. So don't go. The point of the story: don't vomit in an Uber.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
And then you guys came home.
And then no, we had 2 more days. I woke up at 6:30 the next morning feeling fully refreshed. It was
Of
awesome.
course, yeah. It's the alcohol in the States. You don't get hungover.
That was story time with Uncle Peeze. I hope you enjoyed it.
I like it.
You guys,
had a good time.
You guys would have had fun in Savannah.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
We could have drunkenly recorded a podcast.
That would have been good. A live one, like our first one ever that hasn't been aired.
It should never be aired.
Never be aired.
Del Rock
If we can get it and get like some pieces out of it, it'd be cool.
I don't know if there's anything salvageable.
No, eh?
Nothing.
Yeah.
I've been Peeze. You've been Terry. They've been Eagle and Duke. This has been Hot Sauce Sports. You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.